Everybody, welcome to a daily devotion. Good to have you here. I'm on a bit of a trip with little George here, and I was thinking about one of the daily devotions from our membership area. It was Isaiah 43:18-19, where Isaiah writes, "I am doing a new thing. And can you not see it springing up?" And then it talks about leading us through the wilderness. And I was just thinking about so I'm recording this, it's just about September. I think this will be releasing on Saturday, so August 30th. So it's the end of August and early September. And so we're 9 months through the year, and I'm thinking about where we've been, what's happened over the course of this year. This has been a really hard year so far for me and my family. We've had quite a few deaths in our family, and then I've had some pretty significant health issues that I'm working through. It's all good, but to continually focus on the newness of Jesus is hard to do sometimes when you are going through the wilderness, as it says in those couple of verses. And I was thinking about I have done a lot of hiking in my years, and when you're on the path, things are pretty good. But then when you get off the path, it's really, really hard to navigate and move through the wilderness. And to the point where sometimes you can't even continue to go forward. You're stuck and you're forced to turn around and go back until you can get back onto the path that's cut through the trees, through the brush, and that leads you to your destination. And so there's that mindset a lot of, hey, take the off-beaten path and carve your own road and do all this stuff, and that's wonderful to do. But sometimes we just need to stay on the path. Actually, I'm even looking forward here as I'm driving, and I'm like, man, if I went off to the side that way, this journey would get a lot more difficult. And so I think, in looking at this verse today with not fresh eyes, but in looking at this verse after having not looked at it in a couple of weeks at least, think about the newness that Jesus brings into our lives. Sometimes he puts us on a path, and we're supposed to stay on the path. We're not supposed to carve out our own direction, our own way of doing it. It's God opening the doors for us as we move forward. So I don't know how that impacts you or hits you today or whenever you're watching this, tomorrow, the next day, whatever, but maybe this season of newness that Jesus wants to bring to you. And I always look at September as kind of a new start. I know January is always the big new start, but September is a new one too, because it's usually back to school, new, I remember as a kid I would get new clothes for school and we couldn't wear them until the first day of school. And so I would look at the clothes and I'd be like, I can't wait to wear that new t-shirt or the whatever. And so I always look at September as hey, this is kind of a restart here. Let's we've got 4 months left of the year. Maybe we can restart and just see where God wants to take us. And so for some of us, that might be just on the path that is cut out before us, and the path that is moving us to the next place. This road is I'm driving in I think I'm in South Carolina right now, but it's moving me to North Carolina and then to Virginia, and it's taking me there. And it's a very well-established, well-worn path. And so maybe the path that you're on, God is just moving you down that path. And it may be a very well-worn path, and that's okay. It's okay to not always be like, I've got to be the first one to break through this. Because God calls each of us into our own comfort zones sometimes, what we're comfortable with. And then he also calls us, I talked about this a lot, but he also calls us into some uncomfortable places. But there are seasons where we have to be in the comfortable places, I think. Because when we're in those comfortable places, it restores our faith, right, buddy? It restores our, it allows us to rest, right? When we're in those comfortable places, it allows us to kind of take a step back and let God speak to us. Because if we're always just moving and trying to break new ground and all this kind of stuff, it's hard for us to hear sometimes because we're so busy trying to cut through the path that it's hard for us to hear God's voice in the midst of all the chopping through the brush on the path that we're taking. So maybe this is a season for you of just, I think I'm just going to take the path ahead, the place that God is leading me. Yes, it might be a well-worn path, but it's okay. And God can use me in the midst of that okayness. And it's okay. It's okay. Okay? So, take a minute, go hang out in Isaiah 43, 18 to 19. Just two beautiful verses. And have a chat with God and just see like what's next. Like if it's these next 4 months that things are going to happen, and great. If it's like, hey, let me reset 2024. Where's 2025 going to take me? What are we doing in 2025? What's it going to look like? And I'm even starting to piece together 2025, and I'm like, it's going to be a little different next year. I'm not quite sure how it's going to work. And I'm a little nervous. I'm gonna be honest with you, but we'll figure it out together as a community, and we'll see where it goes. This is just faith, having faith in the Father and the plans that He has for us. And how are we gonna surrender ourselves to Him to follow Him to the next step? Okay? So that next step, maybe for you, it's on a very well-worn path. And God is just calling you to walk alongside Him. Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. All right. I'm going to get back to driving, but I just had that on my mind for a minute, and I wanted to just kind of share that with you guys. I think it's a good way to kind of start the day and talk about. It's just a good subject to think on over the course of your Saturday, if you're watching this on the release day on Saturday. Alrighty, have a great rest of your day. If you want to join our community, please do head over to joindavesband.com. We got daily devotions sent to your email inbox, Bible studies, weekly worship videos, music downloads, a community of people that are praying for and with you, which is really important. And then the first few dollars of a membership goes straight to helping us sponsor a child, giving a kid food, clothing, clean water, and healthcare. And your donations help keep me on the road so that we can see lives changed through child sponsorship and through the shows that we're doing all the time. Alrighty? So thanks for being with me. George, you got anything else you want to add? No, he's just hanging. He's just hanging on the ride. All right, guys, prayers up for you today. Prayers up for your week. And we'll see you over at joindavesband.com. Take care. We'll see you on the next one.